Thank you for having me. I would explain a little bit about what my actual expectations and also the expectations of us as Körber are in these expectations of the pharmaceutical industry. What is the factory of the future for them, and how is their ambition to be realized? And therefore, I'm, as the responsible for digitization, drive you through the topics of getting inspiration, set ambitions, to getting ideas to proof of value, and then going to the product, which is in production. And I want to start a little bit with who is Körber. I think the less of you know it, maybe. But the Körber Group is out of 13,000 employees. We have our principal market leader through technology leadership, and therefore we have a high priority to drive the digital transformation, not only for our customers, also for us. And we are based in 4 different industry segments: digital, pharma, supply chain, and technologies, with a global footprint. And what is a little bit special at our side, we are a foundation, 100% in the ownership of the Körber Stiftung, and we finance technology innovations. We finance in the last year also a lot in AI and researchers in AI to improve really these technologies and bring it to life in the production. And therefore, I explained it, digitization in the pharmaceutical industry, what does it mean, end-to-end process thinking, what we need for it, and then coming from an ideation to a product in operation. I want to start first setting the stage. We focus on digitization not to digitize, we focus on digitization because the trends in the pharmaceutical are going in this direction. Personalized medicine, new business models are coming up. We focus also on impacts on the value chain in the pharmaceutical industry, that there's a high cost pressure actually, also on globalization needs. We have a reduced time to market, therefore, to bring up these new products to the market. And also we have to solve all these pains in the pharmaceutical industry, like the equipment efficiencies, decreasing the changeover times to increase the efficiency, and also to be aware what we could improve by data management. And therefore, I always talk about these things a little bit. This focuses really on being, as a company, transparent in the production, flexible in the needs, scalable in the ambitions, and efficient in the production. Because anyone has specific needs. We don't have these standard solutions for everything. And therefore, we not thinking in only manufacturing. Manufacturing means only one equipment to another equipment. We need packaging machines to pack a product in a line. We also have to integrate in thinking in supply chain process, how these products are coming from storage and to the production machines, to the equipment, and which IT infrastructure and which systems and processes did I need. These are 3 dimensions I always think when I come from analog process to technically digitized processes up to a real digital transformation. And these 5 levels I've described here are the Bioforum. The Bioforum standard on pharmaceutical industry is a standardization organization which focusing on how to standardize special things which are needed to increase the efficiency in the pharmaceutical area. And there are suppliers like the big pharmaceutical companies on the world, but also us as machine builders, as software companies, consultancies, and we work together to set all these standards. And this describes the way with keywords from analog, fully manual, paper-based production, to more digital silos, where you integrate new IT systems like MES systems, line management systems, quality management systems, to really have your silo in a database format, to really connect all these informations, vertical and horizontal integration of all these things to enable real things like real-time process analytics, or to have electronic batch records, which enables you in the future to do review by exception. Today, a pharmaceutical process have to be fully reviewed. The batch, I think so, these are hundreds of papers, I think so, which have to be written by the pharmaceutical expert to accept the batch. And in the future, we only accept these exceptions. And this is a full change, I think so. And then we come to these predictive things where we could bring AI in there, use cobotics and robotics, up to an adaptive plant where everything is digitized, where everything is automated, and we have closed loop systems. And therefore, we need end-to-end process thinking. And every way of us starts with understanding. We're coming from digital maturity assessment, which based on this bioform model I showed before, to set really this customer specific ambition, where I want to be, to create out of it a strategy to determine the right scenarios, create a roadmap out of it, execute it step by step, and then we become to a factory of the future. And what is really necessary, we have to prioritize. To set the right scenarios, we have to prioritize. And what does it mean? I explain afterwards. We want to improve changeover processes, or we want to have less manual interventions to increase something, to reduce something, to save something. And this is a business impact. And therefore, everyone focus on having a better production in the future. And this is one example I brought with me. It looks complex, it looks big, but these are new dimensions of thinking in a pharmaceutical process. In the middle, this is an example from an inspection process. When I have a vial, I have to inspect the quality before there's really a good product. When I take insulin or something, I have to know 100% quality. And this is only the core process, but I have also the preparation processes and also the end of production processes, and all the complexity from process systems from the IT perspective. But when I know this and I have an assessment, I really know my current level, where I be, to set really the baseline where I want to grow, set my ambition for the future, and then I have a planning interval for the next years. Also, how can I step by step digitize? And all these green or blue elements in there are specific things, get the data, get the right product in there, connect everything, and then create business value out of it, integrate the right production. And this is possible greenfield as well as brownfield, and not only for new cool facilities, which focusing fully on this digitization. And now I want to explain a little bit. This was really theoretical to bring these concepts and these preparations to production. This is a short overview how a pharmaceutical production in high level looks like. You have a production from API production to a filling line in a liquider process, to inspect these processes, to assemble them like these insulin cartridges, to label them, buffer them. You have track and trace systems to cartonize them and bring it back to the warehouse. But what is really necessary is, when I talk about these 3 dimensions of processes, to talk about also supply chain processes, how these robots or cobots bring from the warehouse products to the systems, and also all the IT systems you needed. You have to the control about the whole line, about the whole processes every time. You have to know where to increase the efficiency, what is maybe a hurdle, why there is a loss in production. And you get this transparency by line management systems, by interconnection to MES systems, to warehouse management and fleet systems. And in the future, processes in the packaging industry directly request by these systems to the warehouse the processes. A cobot brings it in the machine, and there's no one integrated. The people could really focus on their specifications, I think so, really on this production and not to solve problems. And therefore, we always think about in these 9 dimensions when we talk about factories of the future: advanced automation, data-driven decision-making, a seamless customer journey, flexibility, all these things. Because when you think end-to-end, you have to think about the specialty where you want to integrate something. And therefore, We have this value chain with the IT systems as a higher level overview, and now we could place our use cases on this value chain. And here are some examples what we do with AI in pharmaceutical production, what we bring normally to our customers. Increase efficiency of logistic equipment. Closed loop supply chain material handling with cobotics, controlled by AI algorithms. AI and visual inspection to increase also the performance. What are real faults or what are good products? Performance optimization in production. Predictive maintenance, a little bit buzzword, but predictive maintenance could be also real. Line clearance and changeover optimization by object detection, anomaly detection, and also increasement of all these protocols which were needed. Advisor chatbots for production, or these digital twin processes for R&D to manufacturing, stock management prediction, or synthetic creation of images. And I brought 2 examples for these live applications with me. I want to start with my first example. This is the AI and visual inspection. And therefore, I have the case of generative AI. How we use generative AI in the classical pharmaceutical production. We use image generation. When you produce a pharmaceutical product, you have to validate it. I explained it before with the vial. It has to be 100% good. And now you have to sample a lot of pictures from or images from the good and the bad vials to train your algorithms that the machine said, yes, it's a good product or it's a bad product. And therefore, you have big losses, I think so. And even every time you have a new product, you need a lot of time to go to market with it. And therefore, I want to explain a little bit what is needed to classify a product. You have different categoristics on the vial. Maybe when you take a picture, you have different light perspective, different orientations of a product when you have an image, different sizes of a product or different positions. And therefore, the customer needs defect kits to validate the processes. Every time when the defect kit has been used, 100% of it should be detected by the machine. If not, the full batch has gone. And therefore, it could be 100% sure that we need it. And therefore, we need a lot of examples to also overcome all these defect kits to really sample it. How these defects look like are this. Here's an example. Maybe there is a crack in this glass of a vial. And then it should be out. It's a defect product. What are we doing now is using generative AI to create a sample base, to create really artificial intelligent bill images with these bad examples, with cracks, with different crack types, with some specifications in there to generate all these images. And this looks a little bit like this. We have a database with all types of cracks, with all types of things we see in the market from different libraries. And then we generate this. And this is not like using Photoshop, I think. So this is really a proven situation there, which could be used in validated processes. And therefore, we have our some real images with this feature mask where we have our generative AI model. We have now the situation where we generate images, and then we have artificial intelligent or artificial images together with real images, and then we could go faster to market with production. This is a real increasement for a customer. The next example is AI and line management. Customers have paper-based production, production in one line, or production in a site, where MES. And therefore, you have these first layers of digitization. You come from a production step, from one machine, up to a line, up to an MES system, up to ERP systems and cloud systems in these areas. And we created a system which integrates vertically and horizontal all these informations digitally, that you don't need paper in any of these steps. And therefore, we connect with standardized equipment. We manage in pharmaceutical standards all these processes. We execute by guiding operations. We detect by assisted line clearances. We are modeling processes and workflows to make it really applicable, the digitization, and also SOP processes. And we integrate condition monitoring and data analytics in there. And I want to explain what AI-powered recommendation, guided by recommendations, could look like in these areas. If you see a pharmaceutical process workflow, normally you have to start a production by initiating an electronic batch. Now we integrate everywhere camera systems and detection points, which were analyzed if there is a recognition of objects. And the system directly recognized if there are maybe only paper, or is it maybe a broken vial with a product. And then the operator were directly guided through these interconnected systems. What product is in there? What is the type of thing which has to be cleaned? What I have to done in removal? And then they also re-inspect the system that on one side the operator is secured by the process, but also everything is fully documented in the protocol, and then we could use this review by exception and don't need paper anymore. And the same example by continuous shop floor improvement. We get the transparency, or we need the transparency over the whole processes to detect something, and then we could use the analytics of this process to really integrate a human in the loop, that they help to interpret, to give the right recommendations afterward, and then you bring new insights in these recommendations to directly integrate it in the SOP processes, to guide the operator through these processes, and then you have a continuous improvement processes with really a closed loop system, which brings more efficiency to pharmaceutical production. And therefore, I'm at the end of my presentation. I have one question for you. What is the next step you could take also in all your productions? I think so every one of us has to go step by step into digitization and advanced use this adoption of advanced technologies. And I think everyone has examples for it. Therefore, maybe if you want to discuss more of these cases, I'm afterwards at the Dane booth and outside at my colleagues, and there we could discuss a little bit about these cases.